What are the top selling products for dietary supplements on Amazon this week? Today's Friday, the 27th of March, 2026, just for those of you playing at home. And let's take a look at what products are selling the best in the world, or Amazon US, which really is the world. Let's just be honest. Okay, product number one, creatine monohydrate. No surprise there, but it recently overtook magnesium as the top selling product in the world on Amazon, which is very interesting. Funny thing about creatine is it's so, oh, wow, it's this new thing. Everyone should take it. You're feeling tired, take some creatine. You want to prevent Alzheimer's, take some creatine. You want to, I don't know, cure everything in the world, take some creatine. But creatine's nothing new. So the Soviets were experimenting with it with athletes in the 80s. The US track and field athletes were messing around with it in the 90s. In the mid to late 90s, bodybuilders, fitness freaks, everyone got into it and loved it because of all the athlete testing. We knew it was very safe and the results were very tangible. So if you're doing heavy lifting like a bench press or a squat, you could get an extra 1 or 2 reps, which can make all the difference. If you were sprinting like a track and field athlete, you could get an extra 1 or 2, even 3 seconds of power, which again can make all the difference. So huge, huge benefits. No one really thought about the brain power thing back then. I think no one was even paying attention to it. Another side effect, which was positive for people who were very lean, was that because it increases your creatine stores. So not only you're increasing creatine stores in the body, but to hold it, you also need to bring in some more water as well. So your muscles would fill up and look more full. So if someone's not lean, they might look fat, but for anyone who's lean and very muscular, it makes your muscles look more full. So that was another benefit of creatine monohydrate. I think I took it for the first time when I was 17 or something. So when I saw it in the last few years getting traction for brain power, it made me very happy. And now I think it's hilarious. It's recommended to grandmas and stuff. So no surprises, number one. Number two, magnesium glycinate. So magnesium, one of the top selling supplements in the world for the last 20 plus years. Thankfully, it's gotten better and better. And glycinate is the most popular form by far because it's gentle on the stomach and it's magnesium bonded with the amino acid L-glycine. That's why it's glycinate. Magnesium bonded with citric acid, magnesium citrate. You hear all these different names. So all that means is you bonded it with something to make it stable, because pure magnesium, like most elements, is unstable. It needs to be put with something. Added benefit is that if you take enough amino acid L-glycine, you can get a relaxing effect and also a cooling of your body's core temperature, or make it easier to cool your body's core temperature. So it's often used by itself for helping with sleep, which is why a lot of people find magnesium glycinate helps with sleep, because you're not just getting magnesium, but you're getting a bonus of glycine. So awesome. No surprises there. Creatine, again, just a lower cost version. Probiotics, great. Plenty of people have gut issues. 60 billion CFU is a very strong dose. So I wouldn't be surprised if some people are getting the reverse effect with this if they took it too long. So sometimes with probiotics, you get bloating when you're trying to get rid of bloating because you can end up having too much bacteria going on. But for most people, if they've never taken one or they haven't taken one in a long time, or they're recovering from diarrhea or antibiotics or whatever, taking probiotics for a little bit of time can really help most people's gut health. Or, just be careful if you're going to take it every day if it's a high dose. Collagen, awesome. This is the new packaging, but it's basically the same product as their classic one, which is here, Vital Proteins Collagen. I mean, this is also consistently in the top 5, if not top 3 for the last 5-10 years. Interestingly, so when Vital Proteins was first pushing collagen, they shared their founder story, how he helped fix some joint problems that he was having because he was a distance runner. And collagen for joint health is really a really great angle and it works really well. But it was a little bit boring and it didn't really get traction. Then there was collagen for bodybuilders and sports people and stuff, but they didn't like it so much because the amino acid profile of collagen is very weak compared to something like whey protein or even plant protein. So you get the benefits of protein that it makes you feel full, but you don't really get the benefits of building muscle like you would with a more complete protein. But it was the beauty angle which really hit a home run for collagen and made it blow up. So again, my brother and I were at Expo West, which for those of you who don't know, it's the world's biggest vitamin and supplement and health food expo on the planet. It's held near Disneyland every year in March, which is appropriate because it's the Disneyland of supplements. So back in Expo West 2017, almost 10 years ago, my brother and I were hanging out there. We chatted to the founders and some of the earlier staff of Vital Proteins, and it was again really emphasizing the joint angle, but the beauty angle is really what has helped collagen grow in the last few years. Interestingly, Vital Proteins and Pure Encapsulations, these two brands have both been acquired by Nestle in the last few years. And I've taken these products before the acquisition and after the acquisition, and thankfully, I haven't noticed any issues, any changes. It seems the same. So I'm hoping it seems to be that Nestle bought them, encouraged them to just keep doing their thing and separate the teams, and then just backed them up with more resources. So I'm hoping it stays like that. But Nestle did kind of spin off a aggressive supplement arm where they would do acquisitions as well as fund new products as well. So, hopefully it stays like that, in that they respect supplements and don't try to cheapen these things and make them like they, some chocolate milk or some crap. Anyway, Nestle kind of owns half the world. So like it's inevitable they're going to buy some supplement brands. And this is, again, just collagen, but they've stacked it with some other things. But if you have a look, they've added hyaluronic acid and vitamin C. Guess what they do? Beauty. So again, like I said before, collagen for beauty is why collagen is almost certainly getting such big traction and staying strong. Omega-3, timeless, amazing. I mean, Nordic Naturals is just killing it. They have really captured a lot of good users, and I'm a fan as well. This is not a cheesy endorsement. It's literally in my fridge. I just put it on my shelf for this video. It's my favorite one in terms of like joint health and skin and stuff, but also no fishy burps and stuff. Great product, high standards. I'm not surprised to see it there. Again, these guys, just fish oil, but cheaper. Vitamin D, timeless. Don't really have to say much about this. Most people need more, especially anyone who lives in the northern parts of the world. So Canada, north parts of USA, Northern Europe, like the Nordic and Scandinavian countries, even most of Europe, apart from the southern. Basically, if you're in Europe, except for Spain, Portugal, and Italy, maybe Greece or something, or anything on the coast, you should probably take vitamin D for like 2 to 3 months during winter. But if you live near the equator, like South America, South Central America, Southeast Asia, then you almost will never need to take vitamin D. Unless you're trapped in an office every day, then probably. Ironically, Australia has an emerging vitamin D deficiency problem, and it has some of the strongest sun in the world because they've promoted a lot of anti-sun sentiment, which is fair enough because there's a lot of skin cancer down there. But so vitamin D deficiencies can happen even in people living in sunny places. So there you go. Vitamin D3 with K2. That's very smart because K2, vitamin K, so just the 2 is the form. So vitamin D you can get as D2, which is hard to absorb. D3 is easier to absorb. It's much better. And then K, you can get K1 or K2. So D3 and K2 is a great combo. The K makes it easier for your body to absorb the D. K and D together work to help properly store calcium in the body, for example, in your bones. And the K can work with the D to prevent calcium going where it's not meant to go, such as bone spurs in your fingers and toes, and or even calcium lining your blood vessels, which is bad. Doesn't tend to happen unless you're taking gigantic doses of vitamin D, but it can happen. So great combo. Creatine again, Thorne, amazing brand, rock and roll. Got a few of their products on my shelf here. If anyone's got a few $1 billion lying around, they're currently on sale now for $4 billion from the firm who bought them a few years ago and took them private. So if you need someone to help you with that, feel free to reach out. Multivitamin, again, timeless category. So yeah, not surprised to see it up the top. Interestingly, this is a liquid version. Mary Ruth's is a pretty cool brand. They try to stick more on the natural side of things. They're still kind of mainstream, so I wouldn't put a ton of faith in them, but they're more creative than generic, multivitamins you see. Oil of oregano, it's one of those kind of trending brands. It does come and go. You'll see also they've stacked it with black seed oil, which is very much like a TikTok-y trendy thing at the moment. No one even knows why they're taking it. It's one of those things. It's like ancient wisdom. My grandpa took it and now he lives forever, blah, blah, blah. So just be careful with those kind of trend products. But I do know some people who like oil of oregano for immune system and also gut health and stuff. So, hey, could be something to it. Probiotics again, but gender specific. We got the women's one here, which is cool. It sounds like it could be a bit of a scam at first, but there are strains of probiotics that work better for women. You got to understand, remember that the everyone has a gut microbiome, in your gut, but women also have a vaginal microbiome. So that is a legitimate thing. They do have different strains of bacteria that can benefit them that are not relevant to men, or less relevant to men. Rice. So these dudes are very impressive because back in the day, mushroom coffee was really, pioneered by a handful of brands, with Four Sigmatic from Finland really breaking ground. First guys to get endorsed by Tim Ferriss and stuff. Then they pushed to the US out of Europe, but they kind of fell off the map. And then Rise came along and ate their lunch along with some other brands, and they've really eaten their fill, because now they're on every shelf in Target, Whole Foods, Sprouts, they're killing it. So really cool. And 15 on Amazon is no joke. I mean, you're selling fistfuls of this product every day. So good job, Rise. Hair, skin, and nails, great category. Gummy format, interesting. So, that's gummies. I mean, they are kind of growing a lot still, but not as much as I would say a few years ago, because it's hard to fit a lot of stuff into a gummy, and some people get bloating and stuff. But yeah, hair, skin, and nails, crazy big category, strong for many years, 20 years plus, no problems. Magnesium, 7 different forms of magnesium, so it's just a novel way to advertise it there. Again, a women's probiotic, very cool. Collagen again, magnesium again, magnesium again. Again, notice how this is both glycinate. Collagen again. Turmeric, great product. I love it. I take it for joints, but also for inflammation. I find it does help also with potentially with asthma symptoms. I don't have strong asthma anymore. I did when I was a kid, but still I am sensitive to allergens and stuff. So turmeric I do find helps with my joints and with breathing. Cool stuff. Melatonin, not a fan. Don't endorse it to anyone. Don't take melatonin. But it's 24 because it's obvious. It's something that people feel it does something. But the problem is you're replacing a hormone your body already makes, which is melatonin. So if you start taking melatonin regularly, what's your body going to do? It's like, oh, sweet, I don't need to make as much anymore because you're giving it to me. That's why people get addicted to it. That's why people with insomnia feel like they can't ever sleep properly again without it. It's not worth the trade-off. Stay away from melatonin. Grunes, man, incredible product that they've packed greens into gummies and somehow convinced people that taking a whole fistful is doable. Because if you want greens, you're taking these guys, AG1, the biggest green supplement on the planet, you have a scoop, which is 12 grams of powder. If you wanted to put that into gummies, you'd need 20 of them or 24 of them. These guys convince people to take a whole bunch of gummies at once, 8 to 10 to 12 at a time. So they've done an incredible job, which is really impressive. And, to people who can take that many and not feel like crap with digestion, also very impressive. And just they're on fire. I mean, they are running a supplement company like a tech company. They raised $50 million to start rather than bootstrapping. And they are everywhere on so many shelves. And they've recently even got into Costco. So, I mean, hats off to Grunes. If I had one. Again, magnesium glycinate, elderberry, grandma's remedy for immune system, timeless European medicine wisdom, great stuff. Multivitamin, but for men, magnesium glycinate again, it's Thorne, great brand. More collagen, seed, which is here. So going on to what I said before about probiotics, these guys have less total probiotics than some of those ones above, but they have better, more specialized strains. So I think seed's actually really cool. And they're really cool from a marketing point of view because if you notice in the name, it says synbiotic. That's kind of like a made up term that they pioneered. So probiotic is bacteria, which is good, it's the good bacteria that live in your stomach. They're called probiotics. So you take probiotics to boost the good bacteria in your gut. And then prebiotic is something that helps these guys multiply. It kind of you give it to them and then they multiply. So it's before and then you get more of them. Prebiotic is just a fancy name for certain types of fiber. But these guys, you put a prebiotic with a probiotic, what do you get? A synbiotic. It works in synergy. Really smart. And the cool thing is they worked prebiotic fibers into the material of the capsule, which holds the probiotic. So it's everything in one. It's really cool. So great work, Seed. And they have all this scientific stuff on their website. They really, really big on that. So good job. Creatine gummies. Again, combining two of the biggest trends in supplements in the planet right now, creatine and gummies. Can't say more than that. K2 and D3, nicely done, cheaper than the other one, so that's why it's up there. Magnesium, oil of oregano, again with black seed oil. Neuromag, so magnesium threonate. So we're talking about magnesium glycinate before. So magnesium with glycine. This is magnesium with amino acid L-threonate. So some people find that this one helps with brain power. So clear thinking, sharp thinking, focus, rather than relaxation, like magnesium glycinate. And there's a branded version, which just means that a company has done a lot of studies and they've protected the name. So the exact ratio of how they assemble this magnesium L-threonate, and that brand name is called Magtene. Can't really see it there when I zoomed in, but you can see the little squiggly logo. So yeah, Magtene magnesium threonate is a thing for people wanting to do with brain power. Don't take it before bed. Some people it works great and helps them sleep better. For me, it gives me insomnia. So just be careful. Maybe I'm just an anomaly. More D3, AREDS. So this is cool. So this is antioxidants for vision. So lutein and zeaxanthin. So these are the kind of polyphenol antioxidants you'll find in berries. For example, there's a ton of zeaxanthin in blueberries. And yeah, if you take a ton of this stuff, it may help with improving eye health. So it's cool that, you can start with a natural thing first before you jump onto having to do drugs or surgery. May as well take a shot. And people are paying attention because it's the 38th top seller. Women's Multi, but in a gummy. So multivitamin plus gummy, 2 trends. Fiber gummies. So fiber is a big trend. It's getting up there with how you're seeing protein in everything. Now you're seeing fiber in everything. But fiber plus gummies, cool trend. And also gummies need fiber to stick together. So it makes sense. Multivitamin and omegas together in a gummy. So 3 trending things. Human Super Beats, one of the most impressive products I've seen from a marketing point of view in the last few years. They pioneered this format, a chewable little square, which looks like Starburst chews, if anyone is a fan of those from back in the day. Big dose of beetroot, but big dose of, or effective dose rather, of grapeseed extract. And they use a branded grapeseed extract, which has been shown in studies to help with improving nitric oxide levels in the blood, which helps to relax the blood vessels, improve blood flow, and therefore lower blood pressure, or therefore may assist with lowering blood pressure, because you can't make strong claims like that in a vitamin. You'll get in trouble. Really cool. They've pioneered it. There's a lot of copycat brands. For example, these guys totally copied them with Total Beats. And there's many others too, but Human Super Beats is where it's at for that category. Now, on to Nello Super Calm, one of my favorite products at the moment for selfish reasons. So back in the day in 2012, 14 years ago, I invented a product called Revive. It was an adrenal support formula to help with fatigue and focus and all these things. It had a big dose of rhodiola, vitamin B5, pantothenic acid, and inositol, which is also a B vitamin-like substance. You can't call it a B vitamin because your body can actually make it, but oftentimes people are low, so you need to have some more. Anyway, it worked really well for me in making me less fatigued and focus better and stuff. I was overworked and overcaffeinated at the time. Worked really well for an elite special forces military friend of mine who was totally burned out, and worked very well for a few other people, including a demographic of older ladies who are having nervous system issues and nerve pain. So that was a weird one, but a cool one. Anyway, back when I was doing this, there wasn't really any other products on the market except for maybe Alpha Brain by Onnit, but they weren't targeted and marketed as a fatigue product. They were more as a focus product, which I probably should have done with mine. Also, I had a much lower budget than them, and I'm also just not very good at marketing online when it comes to products versus them. I'm obviously better now, but yeah, I was not very good at selling things online. I was quite good in person. My brother and I had a chain of health food stores, but not so good on the internet back then. Anyway, Nello Super Calm, sick. They've really helped to validate that category. They've got a nice mix of L-theanine, KSM-66, ashwagandha, which is just branded ashwagandha, magnesium. They've got like almost 10 different flavors. They've really pimped out the flavors. And yeah, it's really popular and continues to always be in this top 50 list. I'm really happy for them and really impressed because they've helped validate a category I really believe in. And if you can get people to take stuff like this instead of going for more and more stimulants, I think the world's going to be a better place. Melatonin, boo, get out of here. Iron, great. Oh no, but it's ferrous sulfate, so do not take this. So when it comes to iron, take iron bisglycinate. or iron glycinate. Do not take ferrous sulfate, because ferrous sulfate will send most people to the bathroom, or sorry, it'll send them to the bathroom and not let them leave the bathroom because you'll get constipated. Most people, again, I'm not making a claim or something, but most people find they get stomach issues, stomach pain, and constipation taking generic iron supplements, which usually include ferrous sulfate. Whereas iron bisglycinate, something I give to my wife, and I helped her fix her anemia, is if you take it consistently, it can help with absorbing, you absorb the iron better from the supplement, and it doesn't mess with your ability to go to the bathroom. So yeah, iron, if you need it, take it, but don't take it unless you have a blood test saying you need it, because too much iron is also bad. But don't take ferrous sulfate. Nasty stuff. Magnesium again. Collagen, been in capsules. That's interesting. Good luck with that. You're going to have to take a lot of those. D3 and K2, high absorption magnesium. Very exciting. And Culturel, one of the world's top selling probiotics. Even though it says 50 on Amazon, it's huge everywhere. It's big retail distribution, owned by a gigantic Dutch firm called DSM. So they are everywhere. And they were one of the first brands to put a little bit of prebiotic fiber with the probiotics. So technically they were doing the symbiotic thing before Seed was. So that's the top 50 on Amazon today, the 27th of March, 2026, not the 26th. My God, I screwed that up at the start, but I'm not going to re-record this. I hope you enjoyed this and enjoyed my rant. And I'm going to be doing some more of these videos. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you around.